One of the ingredients I use the most in the kitchen, especially with desserts, is vanilla extract. And I always tell you to use the finest of the beaver-free extract.
Did you know that they used to use the anal glands of beavers to make it taste like vanilla?
No. Where'd you hear that? I understand it's difficult to milk the little sacks.
It's just something I picked up along the way.
Well, how do you know if it's beaver-free? So today on Southern Keto, I'm going to show you how to make your own beaver-free vanilla extract. Stick around. Now this is all you're going to need to make your own vanilla extract. You're going to need a kitchen scale, and I know I don't use kitchen scales in my kitchen. I had to dig this thing out from way in the back of a cabinet somewhere. I hadn't used this thing in 10 years, so hopefully it still works. You're gonna need some kind of a glass bottle. I'm using these wide mouth mason jars, and I'll link everything I use down in the description so that if you don't have something, you can pick it up. Well, except for a couple ingredients, which you're just gonna have to go find yourself because they won't ship it to you. And this is one of them. You can use a whiskey or bourbon. You can use a 190 proof liquor, and we're gonna add some water to it to get that proof down, because if you just add straight 190 in there, it's gonna burn those beans up and it's gonna be absolutely terrible. And if you don't do alcohol, you can also use vegetable glycerin to extract these vanilla beans. It's just gonna take a little bit longer, and I'll put that down in the comment section on how long you'll need to do that. And last but certainly not least, you're gonna need some beautiful vanilla beans. And these are mine right here. They got my name right on them. It's the Marigold Timor-Leste Extract Grade Vanilla Beans. And I'll leave a link down below to where you can pick these up too. It's a really great company with a really great product, which you're gonna need if you want the best vanilla. So this is how to pick out what kind of extraction liquids you wanna use. So this, I've got this diesel grain neutral spirit. This is 190 proof. So that's 95% alcohol. This stuff is deadly. They even got a warning up there. Do not apply to open flame. Keep away from fire, heat, and open flame. And keep that away from your mouth too, because if you drink this, I promise you, you ain't gonna like it. But what we're wanting to go for here is somewhere between 80 and 100 proof. And that's about 40% alcohol to 50% alcohol. So what I'm gonna do with this, I'm gonna mix this half and half with some distilled water. That'll give us the right proportion that we need to make this work. You don't want to go over 100 proof because it's just not going to be good. Now this, and I'm not using this one is staying sealed. This one's 45% alcohol, so that would make it 90 proof. But you see, it's got my name right on there. I just wanted to show that off. This is the one I'm actually going to be using, Maker's Mark. And the other one's fine. It's just a neutral spirit like what you would find in the grocery store when you buy your vanilla extract. This one's gonna give it a little bit of a bourbon flavor. And so this is 45% alcohol, so this is 90 proof also, same as mine. I just want this for a little bit of the flavor because I've got some plans for this once it's all done. Now for a normal strength vanilla extract, you're gonna use 1 ounce of beans to 8 ounces of alcohol, but I'm making a double strength because I really love the vanilla flavor. So I'm gonna use 2 ounces of beans to 8 ounces. So if you want yours to taste more like what's in the store, you're gonna use 1 ounce to 8. I'm using 2 to 8. I'm gonna use a quart jar for this. This batch is going to be 4 ounces of the beans to 16 ounces of that neutral spirit. Some people call it Everclear. Sometimes you can't even get this 190 proof in a lot of states. You'll get like a 151, and then you'd use like 2/3 of a cup of the 151 to 1/3 of a cup of water. This is gonna be half and half here. So I'm just gonna take my beans, put them right down in the jar. I'm gonna measure out 4 ounces of them. This is a 6 ounce bag that I have here. That's 4.1, so I'm gonna take a bean out. And that's right at 4. So it's better to go a little over than a little under, but that's what we're gonna do right there. Well, like I said, we're gonna use 2 cups of this. So I'm gonna put 1 cup of this Everclear or this neutral spirit. Then I'm gonna go in with a cup of distilled water and make sure it's distilled. That's what you want. Now I'm just gonna stir this up, and this is half strength. So this should be about an 85 proof right now. If you ever want to know how much alcohol is in something, if you shake it up, the faster those bubbles go away, the higher the proof is. So if for some reason you didn't have these labeled, that's how you check your alcohol. Now watch this one. See how those bubbles stay in there like that? It means you're much lower proof, just like that. That's an old moonshiner's trick from my neck of the woods. If you like videos like this that show you how to make good quality ingredients to use in your kitchen, make sure you hit the subscribe button down there, click the bell next to it, and you'll be notified anytime I do a new video. But anyway, enough about that. We ain't making moonshine, we're making the finest beaver-free vanilla. So I'm just gonna take this, kind of tamp that down like that. Make sure you get all these little beans down in there real nice, and just pour right over the top with our alcohol and water blend. And if you're using glycerin, you do the exact same thing. I'll put exact directions down in the description. Then just put your lid on it. Give it a good shake. And it's just going to sit and wait. This is going to take a little bit of time. So in the meantime, you might be buying a little vanilla. This is going to sit anywhere from 1 year to 2, 3, even 4 years before we use it. If the beans are long and they're sticking out of the water like that, just make sure you got it nice and tight. And you can even set it on its side like that to help it extract. And just roll it around every once in a while. And it's going to do just fine. And this is completely up to you, but if you want to play around with it, and you can put the date on there, put the type of bean that it has, and you can actually extract these more than once. So I'm just going to put on here that this is the first extraction. Once these are done, you can extract them one more time, but they'll be about half strength. So I'm just going to make sure this is clearly labeled. And there you have it. And since I didn't add any beaver to it, I'm going to denote that with a BF for beaver-free. If I was adding beaver in there, I might want to let you know, or I might want to know myself. You want to make sure that you never fill your glass containers all the way to the top with alcohol, because you're going to have some gas build up in there. And if you fill it all the way up and it doesn't have any room for expansion, it could blow the top off. So just be aware of that. See where mine's at. It's about what you want. Now this next one's going to be super simple. No weighing required, because I had 6 ounces of beans. I've used 4 of them. So according to my mathing, I'm just going to dump these right in. Now if these happen to go a little bit over the top like that, I'm just going to push them down in there a little bit. There's all kind of methods for making vanilla extract, but in my opinion, and based on the herbalism background that I have and what we used to do, this is going to be the best way to do it, to extract all the flavors out of it and all the complexity. And it's super simple here, because this is already the proof I want it. I'm just going in with 8 ounces here. Pour it right over the top. And we got ourselves a nice little bourbon vanilla. Oh, and the other thing you're going to want to do is put what kind of liquor, glycerin, or whatever it is you use to extract it. Once this gets all brown, you ain't going to know what you put in there. And listen, you don't have to do this. You can just experiment over and over, but if you find one that you really like, you're going to want to duplicate it. You'll know exactly what kind of beans to get again and what kind of alcohol that you like the best to extract in. The best thing to do now is just put these in a cool, dark place and let them sit. Set a timer on your phone or something from a year from now, unless you're a shaker. If you're a shaker, you can put it out somewhere where you can see it. Give it a little shake every time when you go by, and it'll be just fine. For me, I'm sticking it up in the cabinet above my refrigerator. I'll see you little fellas in a year. So it's been about 2 weeks since I made these, and I just wanted to show you what they look like now. I mean, look at the color on that. Can't wait to see what it looks like after about a year. But I'll keep giving you updates. Now while you're waiting for that extract to extract, get whatever kinds you got in the cabinet and let's make this recipe right here.